All right, true believers, welcome back as we talk more WandaVision. We're almost done. Man, there's a bunch to talk about. Episode 8, previously on. I'm Paul, and with me is Hank.
Hello, I'm Hank.
It's you. Mm-hmm. Okay. This episode feels very much like the beginning half hour to an hour of an actual MCU movie origin story. There is a lot of shit going on. That's all exposition on the characters, basically. So I guess last time we were talking, you were saying something about how like Agatha Harkness is it's back from like the Salem witch trials. So it's fitting that that's where this starts.
Yeah.
Although this witch trial isn't the witch trials as we know it. It's a witch trial held by witches, by her coven, I think. Agatha is being tied up in the middle of the circle of the coven and questioned by who we find out to be it's her mother for practicing like dark magic or being a bad witch or something.
Like
and
using magic that's above her age or
her pay grade or whatever. Yeah. That's exactly right.
It's just like when Naruto stole the scroll that he wasn't supposed to have.
It's exactly the same thing, for sure. So she's being questioned and kind of like held down by the witches who are using blue magic, which is probably also, that wasn't meant to be a pun, but I'll take it, which is supposed to be like good, I guess, in this series, or at least like pure, maybe, of some sort. And it quickly becomes like she gets like a purple aura around her as they're doing it, and she like sucks the life energy out of them or whatever as they're tethered to her.
They're blue mages and she's a black mage.
Yeah, essentially. And then her mother was like, "You're bad. Don't be bad." And she's like, "Okay," and then kills her. Or does the same to her, at least.
Well, it's like they try to kill her and they fail so badly that they all die.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Because, like, the way they animate the energy, it's like, it goes into her and then, like, it just turns bad and then they die. She's not, like, active in it.
It's weird, yeah. It's weird. It looks almost like they're powering her up.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's so ineffective.
Yeah. She just eats them.
Yeah, pretty much. And then she takes her mother's pendant, and surprise, surprise, that's the locket or whatever that she's been kind of weirdly rubbing and holding every now and then throughout the series. So that's that. Mm-hmm. This is all about Wanda being forced by Agatha to relive her past so that Agatha could see who she is and how she became so powerful. So I think the interesting thing here is that we were kind of wrong or misled a little bit. Agatha really wasn't pulling a lot of the strings. Like, Wanda did create this universe that they're living in. Yeah. Essentially. Like, that is very much her. And
Agatha's has just been fucking with her. Seems like last time. It was just like, okay, that's actually all she was doing, was just fucking with her.
She wasn't controlling anything. It's just more that she was not being controlled, so she was able to throw a wrench in.
Honestly, I kind of feel like the song lied to me.
Yeah, I kind of felt
this episode wasn't about her at all.
I kind of felt the same, honestly. Yeah, I kind of did. Okay. A bunch of stuff happens in there. We'll talk about them more specifically, but after that, it shows when Wanda went to SWORD to find the Vision's body. It kind of showed that sort of thing, and then it shows that the origins of everything is basically she went to their lot in Westview, Jersey, where they were going to build a house together, and she just was so stricken with grief that she exploded into pure energy and like her will essentially to create the hex and everything going on in it. And then it kind of ends with Agatha like puppeting her children on strings and like holding them back and then saying, "You're the Scarlet Witch." And it's just like, oh, fuck. There it is. There it is. They said the thing.
Roll credits.
Yeah, okay. So that's the basic rundown. There's no point in doing the rundown and then talking about stuff because everything's so specific.
Yeah.
Okay, so first and foremost, is the rabbit supposed to be the version of her cat from the comics? Or is that rabbit just like a weird bird-eating, soul-eating rabbit or something?
I really... Yeah, in comics she has a cat, but in this she has a rabbit. Yeah. But I don't know what the deal with the rabbit is.
Okay. She like turns a cockroach or a cicada or whatever into a fucking bird and then throws it at the rabbit that eats it. So weird. That's a weird thing that happens. We find out the thing in the bottom is like area or whatever isn't so much like an altar area or whatever. It's basically just like her witch's den that she has like runes on or whatever to protect. Mm-hmm. Like it's her like little mini arena, and also where she creates a door into Wanda's memories. And that's kind of like, I guess, the big thing here. So it starts off with them are they in Sokovia?
Yeah.
Or are they in the States at this point?
They're in Sokovia.
Okay. The war is happening. She's a child with her brother, and the parents are very young and alive. They are very young. Like younger than I thought. The dad comes home failing from selling bootlegs or like DVDs from his fucking case or whatever. This is a thing I had a problem with. What year were they born? What year is this in their memory? And why do they have a DVD player with a shitty TV?
I know, dude. The DVD really thing was wild.
Because you know what my first DVD player was? A PlayStation 2. Because DVD players were so expensive.
Same, dude.
And that was what, 2002 or something? Like it was not in like the 90s or whatever or earlier. It was pretty late. But anyways, they have a DVD player, a standalone DVD player on a shitty TV. Sure. I don't understand how that works, but it does. And we kind of find out her obsession with the old sitcoms and stuff, because that seems to be what they had, like a TV night or whatever. When he would come home, her father would come home, and they would all sit there. Specifically, the night that they were attacked and the parents were killed, they were watching. What the fuck was it?
The Dick Van Dyke Show.
Dick Van Dyke, yeah, Dick Van Dyke Show.
Wanda's favorite.
Yeah, the Walnut episode.
Watching Dick Van Dyke on DVD, you know, it's so weird.
Yeah, it does not track at all.
I guess it tracks in that DVD is the time when like people watched TV on demand. Like you weren't putting the Dick Van Dyke Show on VHS because that's just a billion VHS tapes. But I don't understand why it's. I don't understand. I'm
trying to like decipher in my head what year this is, because in that case, there's I Love Lucy, Bewitched. There's obviously Dick Van Dyke is hidden in the wall for whatever reason.
Yeah, that also makes sense.
And I think there's Malcolm in the Middle in there as well. And I'm just wondering if it's just like jumbled up memories, or if this is like maybe early 2000s. It must be, right?
It has to be early 2000s. That's the only actual explanation. But
yeah, okay. There is a small period of time where all of these things, having a DVD player but still having a shitty TV, and having stuff like I Dream of Jeannie on DVD as well as Malcolm in the Middle would make sense. and it's probably between 2001 to 2002. Like, it's a very small window. So it's probably
well if you think about it, it's probably later though for that stuff to then also be in like war-torn Eastern Europe, where everyone's poor and dying. Like a few years later, I would think, even, but because that shit has to be cheap by that point.
When was Battle of Sokovia? I'm just gonna Google it here.
Yeah.
Oh no, not Battle of Sokovia. It would have been. Was it the Sokovian Accords, or was that before?
Sokovian Accords is after Ultron drops the rock.
Okay, right. So it's not that. It's blah blah blah. Oh, probably Novigrad bombings. That's probably what it is. Several attacks orchestrated by the U.S. Air Force against Sokovia, in which the city of Novigrad was devastated by air raids. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, Wanda, Pietro, Stark Industries. Yeah, this is all here. What year was this? Of course it wouldn't tell this, probably. Like, what year this was supposed to have taken place. Yeah, I can't find a year here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the way Marvel Comics in general works is it's a sliding scale. Technically, it's just like, without talking about it, it's always stuff happened not as far back in the past as it actually happened more recently or something. It's like a weird dilation, but I don't know. That was just weird.
Yeah. And I guess more importantly, in the comics and stuff, it's usually the order of how things happen rather than the exact year and date.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, these bombings happened, then the soldiers are captured, then the Hydra base is established, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Like, that timeline is more important than year 2001. This happens or whatever. So, whatever. It doesn't matter.
It felt like some 20-year-old, you're like, the 80s, they were watching DVDs. That's how it feels.
Yeah. It feels, it's weird. It's a weird thing, for sure. I don't know. It's fine. I'm overthinking this more than it matters, but
true.
It really caught me off guard seeing that DVD player.
Yeah. No, same. I felt
like a lot.
What is going on?
Yeah, it felt real weird. I think I need to say,
if Wanda had been a teenager, it also would have been fine. But they make her so young, like baby Wanda in that scene.
Extremely young, like 8-ish, maybe.
Yeah,
around. A thing I forgot to say. She called Pietro Fietro or whatever, so that's a fake. That Pietro is not real.
Yeah.
That was a kind of important thing that they threw away in a throwaway line. So, that Pietro is not necessarily another one from another timeline or from the X-Men specifically or mutants or anything. Yeah. Literally fake. Which is really disappointing.
Yep.
Like, super disappointing. But, like, they knew what they were doing by doing that. They knew that they were having a little bit of fun with, like, timelines and stuff like that. But more importantly, they were going to drive the fucking fan base insane doing that.
Yeah.
And they did. They really did.
I just think it's kind of lame.
It's super lame. It's, how we keep saying they don't have the balls to pull this off?
Yeah.
That is, like, retroactively taking what balls I thought they had and, like, turning them inside out.
Totally.
Because, yeah.
And I started to feel it when the reveal of who, like, the contact turned out to be literally nobody.
Yeah.
Just, like, because if in The Mandalorian, when an X-Wing shows up, you know who it is. It's like, and like that one's on. Through. They're so on the nose with their references. Like, if you think it's going to be this thing, it's going to be this thing.
It's going to be the thing. Yeah. Yeah, they're not going to hide it, for sure. They want you to know that it's a thing because they spent however million to do it.
Yeah.
So they want you to know, for sure. Okay. The parents are killed. Her and her brother are hiding like under some rubble, like in the living room, still watching the TV. Stark Industries shell doesn't explode. Agatha says something about she used a probability hex to stop the detonation, which leads credence to the fact that she was not given powers. She was probably just like amplified with them, which we'll get to in a second.
Yeah, she was, her magic was something she had before she got experimented on with the Mind Stone. Yeah.
And also she didn't know she was casting a spell or anything. It was just her like willing into the fact that they weren't going to die, and they watched TV for 2 days or something. Which, I mean, if you're not under a bed from a war-torn bomb shell in your thing, watching TV for 2 days is pretty dope. So, you know, I don't know. It could be worse. And it gets worse for her.
It does get worse.
And then she's like, no, I don't want to go back there, as a door is shown into like another memory with the Hydra logo on it.
Yeah.
So this jumps forward significantly to when the Wanda we know, where she is still younger, I guess, than now, but she is a volunteer test subject in a Hydra facility. And she goes into a room with Loki's scepter, and they're like, just touch it. Just touch it a little bit. Just give it a little touch. Just the tip.
Like, dude, everybody we've had touch the scepter side. Shh, don't. Shh.
Yeah, don't. Shh. And then the stone from the scepter leaves the scepter's like grasp or handle or whatever, floats in midair. And it wills this weird, like, vision of what looked like the Scarlet Witch from the comic book, like the outfit floating in midair with a bunch of yellow kind of like silhouetting her.
Yeah, because the Mind Stone, for whatever reason, like when it was in Loki's staff, it was in that like container that made it look all blue, but the Mind Stone then is a yellow object with yellow energy.
Yes. Yeah. So this is the moment that I think we all thought, and we were led to believe, she got her powers, like some interaction with like Hydra's like tests on the stones and all that sort of thing. Yeah. But this seems like it might have either just kind of given her like a vision of her future or something, or just amplified her power even more. Who knows? Not a lot of answers here. Just and then she goes back to her room and is watching Brady Bunch for like a while, and they're kind of like, "What the fuck happened?" Because the tape just shows her standing there and then laying on the floor in the next frame.
Yeah,
that's that. I guess that's that part. Then it goes to another door. They go through another door, and it's the moment in the Avengers compound where her and Vision are kind of like hanging out or whatever. She's watching Malcolm in the Middle. It goes like, I think it's important to say that every show that is like highlighted in this episode is one that has been directly copied and ripped off out from the series so far. So for example, Bewitched is the first thing you see in the case when it opens up. And like Dick Van Dyke specifically as well. Just like how that is the first episode. Malcolm in the Middle, of course, was like 2 episodes ago. It like they really aped that style. So all the stuff we see, the 70s episode is the Brady Bunch that she was watching in the thing. So like it kind of like directly, it's that Disney money is what I'm getting at, where they have the actual thing and the money to show the actual thing that like they were ripping off. Yeah. Which is cool.
Pay for that sample.
Yeah. Like all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't spare no expense for sure. This is the most boring little vignette because it's just them talking, but it's supposed to be the moment that like they fell in love with each other, sort of thing, or at least she did with him. Yeah. He's a robot man, so who knows if he even knows what love is? I don't know.
He figures out. He laughs at that joke. He laughs at that joke. At first, he's like, "Why? Oh, this is funny because that guy is hurt. Is that why?" And then later, he laughs at the joke.
Yeah, and then she said it's funny. And then that's kind of how that part ends.
The joke really was.
I don't really know either. He says, "What is grief if not love persevering?" And that's, I guess, supposed to be the big part here of like why she goes crazy. Kind of. I'm trying to think of where it goes after. Okay, after this, it shows what happened when she went to Sword headquarters to see Vision's corpse. And I saw a panel of this. This was in the comic where she saw Vision all like stretched out on a giant table in like wires and shit. Mm-hmm. And that panel is fucking horrific in a way that this episode does not get across. That is weird. Huh. This shows like a bunch of body parts. Like, sure, whatever. The other one looks like a machine pancake because it's a comic. So it's real funny. I'm going to see if I'll put it in like the show notes or something for this episode just because I think it's hilarious. But yeah, she sees Vision being harvested for his body because I was going to look up the number. He's worth like $4 billion or something worth of vibranium.
Yeah.
Something like this. Which I guess shows why they want him so bad. It's because he's the most expensive thing in the world, technically, I guess, which is real. But like, I wish there was a little bit more to that. But at the end of the day, it's money.
Yep.
Like, they call him the most expensive sentient killing machine or something, but really it's just money because they weren't trying to bring him back. They were just harvesting the metal.
It's like, I'm not going to let you put all that vibranium in the dirt. That's wasteful.
It's so lame, even for him. You know what would have been better? Literally anything. We wanted to bring him back to like fight the Avengers because they're becoming a nuisance. Yeah. There's a mutant uprising that we're scared of, so we're going to need a powerful weapon. Anything. But no, too expensive. We can't throw that.
I'll say, based on what happens later, maybe he was doing that, but that's the explanation he was giving Wanda wasn't maybe going to go into his other plans.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
I'll at least give it that, but yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah. So
it's just the problem where that character sucks. He's just like he's nothing.
And we find out that he also was completely lying. She didn't take the body. She broke in for sure. I guess I was remembering something that didn't happen. I remembered footage of her walking out with the body. She totally doesn't. There's only footage of her breaking in. So
yep.
I like put the other one in my mind. I don't
she's not really breaking in. She just doesn't wait for them to open the door for her.
It's technically breaking in.
He's like, I need to buzz you in. And she's like, nah, I got it.
Yeah.
After he tells her where to go.
Like, they don't allow her right away. It's technically breaking in. But yeah, it's not like her ripping the wall apart or something. It's literally her pushing the door open.
Yeah, and she doesn't go to the door to where they're taking Vision. She goes to the door where that dude's office is. Because
to have a conversation. Like, it's really, like, normal.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Even when she, like, breaks open the, like, window to, like, float down to see the body close up. Like, she just does that. She just sees it and then leaves.
Security is about to shoot her. He's like, guys, come on. She's an Avenger.
Chill
out.
Yeah. And then, she just leaves.
Yeah.
It's really weirdly just normal. It's really kind of a normal, like, part.
Yeah.
Even though, like, you know, she sees the thing she loved being ripped apart limb by limb.
She tries to like sense him. She like holds her magic to his head, and she's like,
that's right.
I don't feel him at all.
I don't feel you. Yeah, or whatever. It's so whatever. So dumb. I thought that part was dumb. It's like, of course you don't. He's
super dead.
Yeah. So the important thing, she didn't take the body.
She did
the
not.
Vision we know, which we'll see, which we'll talk about in a second, is her creating him, willing him into existence in her little bubble.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Like, that's a weird thing. She drives to Westview. Westview is how I assume most of Jersey looks, where everybody looks sad and depressed and everything looks shitty. And like it used to be, it's almost like the Pripyat or whatever of like New York's Chernobyl, where there's just like, yeah, this was a pool, but now it's gross. I don't know. That's how I assume a lot of Jersey looks.
I don't know.
There was a delivery driver picking up food.
Sure.
We see
there are a lot more. I will say this. I've been to a lot of more towns in New Jersey that, if like shitty towns in New Jersey, nobody lives there anymore. Some of those places, but
okay.
But it is
just completely run down.
That's just some places. New Jersey is pretty densely populated. Is the most densely populated state in the U.S., despite being the Garden State and also having like oil processing fields along the turnpike, which is what people think of it. We've got diversity.
Okay, fair. We see the cast of her show, parts of it anyways. We see the wife of the boss, Hart, Mrs. Hart, I guess. I don't know if she ever got a name. Sitting alone at like a table. We see the black dude whose name I don't remember, and I feel real bad just referring to him as the black dude, but you know what I mean. The neighbor walking by, and we see another character whose name I don't think I ever knew necessarily from the show.
I don't know any of their names.
Okay. Yeah. I remember Mrs. Hart because the heart on the calendar.
Yeah. She's the mom from that 70s show. That's what I remember.
Kitty. That's her. For sure. True. This is where Wanda goes to like the plot that they were building or a house or something. It's like the foundation. Mm-hmm. And she looks at she has like a little pamphlet or something. And it just has like a note from Vision of like where they're going to start their new life or something with a heart on it. Mm-hmm. And she just explodes into grief, which also creates a different reality.
Yeah.
Because this is a comic book thing, lest we forget.
Yeah.
So, she literally creates the hex right there by being so sad that she explodes into what we learn in a minute is called chaos magic. Yeah. And that creates the Vision also. In this weird scene where like the black and white world is created and she's exploding into red mist, basically. Yeah. But like it's turning yellow to form him.
Yeah.
So it's almost like this weird. It almost this is good. Like we'll talk about this in like speculation corner or something. But like it feels like the like pure Mind Stone part of her maybe is like split off of her now or something. Like some symbolism seems like it's going there. Like she had this like two essences in her, and now it's like two people. It's Vision and her or whatever, which would make sense why it's called WandaVision, I guess.
It's like the Mind Stone saw her in that Hydra room and it was like, I want to fuck that. I want to tap that. So he became a person.
I mean, I agree. I also have been thinking that every scene. So yeah, I get it. So yeah, it just shows kind of like the creation, as it were.
Yeah.
And it gets all it like it starts off where the episodes start with him being like, do you want to stay in tonight? And them like sitting on the couch or about to sit on the couch, and then she hears her children crying out for her. She runs outside, and I heard, so I keep getting spoilers, dude. This time, it's mainly from TikTok. And like,
okay.
I can't skip it because I can't choose what I look at on TikTok. You just kind of go through it and hope you don't get spoilers, and sometimes you lose. Somebody was saying that they think this might have been their weird nod to the kids as hand puppets callback, where they're literally just marionettes on her strings, essentially.
That is this point. That is not what I want.
No, totally. But like hearing that or seeing that, I was just like, oh, that's interesting. Like that's kind of a quirky way to maybe make callback to it. I think it's also a little reachy.
Yes. I would say that's a stretch.
But yeah.
That's like when the doctor said her kids will be in good hands. That was an oblique reference to that. It's a stretch.
Yeah. Yeah.
People want it. They want it.
She says, I know what you are. Talks about chaos magic. And then says you're the Scarlet Witch. Credits. Because that's where you put credits. There is an after credits scene in which it shows the outside of the hex, and douchebag McGee, ruler of Sword, is like getting his little plane together or whatever. But more importantly, they remade the Vision into like some weird zombie husk Vision that we don't know what they're gonna do with him, but it's gonna drive her fucking insane. So
look, it's a true Marvel movie now. We've got Witch versus Witch and Vision versus Vision.
Yes.
Now it's a real Marvel movie.
It's really sad that they actually put that in the show even. Man, remember when there was thoughts where this is Wanda's just dealing with her grief and not an actual like hero fighting hero copy? They went back to the standard rather than like a cool like she doesn't know how to deal with her powers and grief or whatever, so this is like an internal tale. It's like, no, there's a witch bad guy. Also, there's a weird Vision zombie now. It's weird, man. That's the whole recap or whatever. Weird stuff.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So White Vision, I think Vision did look like that for a while in comics. I don't remember why, but I also remember that in the Super Nintendo Marvel Superheroes game, when you fought Evil Vision, it was the all white Vision. So
okay. So theoretically, it is Evil Vision.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to think if there was any. There's a few specific things I think we should talk a little bit more about. I'm just trying to remember what they were. I should be writing down stuff as I think them. That's like what people that actually know what they're doing when they do conversations for content do, and I don't do that like at all.
I've done it sometimes.
It helps so much.
It does, but I'm too lazy now.
How do we feel about them using the words Scarlet Witch finally?
That she's the Scarlet Witch?
Yeah.
If this ends with her getting like an actual costume, I'll be good with it. Instead of just like her showing up in a red jacket.
Sure.
She has like an actual costume, I'll be for it. Just because like I do like the embracing the dumb shit. If you're gonna do it and not just she's just Wanda.
It kind of makes sense why they wouldn't call her the Scarlet Witch before if she was just Wanda, and it's like what's happening here is the transformation of her. Like maybe even understand. It didn't seem like she understood her powers before. Like she knew them on the level of like, yeah, I know that if I point the shooty rootin' tooty at something and then pull this wacky button, or whatever, that thing's going to die. But like, if you actually know how to like a gun works, you can like utilize it better. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like maybe she becomes a Scarlet Witch here because she's actually learning more about what she has in her, and that's kind of like led on by Agatha, because Agatha knows witchery. I thought it's neat that she talks about her in this weird, scary reverence, like, you're the fucking Scarlet Witch. It's just like, oh, Jesus.
It's so funny, because, like, Agatha was the scary witch that all the witches died trying to stop, and then Agatha's like, no, you're the scary one. It's like,
I've heard of you. You're it. It's like, oh my God.
Wanda's the chosen one.
That's, I really like that kind of like, that. I'm trying to think of things I do that, if I had taken a moment to like look some stuff up, I probably could have found some stuff. But it's kind of a trope where it's like you find the person that like you're following in a thing is like a fairy tale to the bad guy. Like, I guess John Wick is like one of them, right? Whereas like he's the boogie, like they talk him up and they're scared of him because of the legend of him. Yeah. And it's kind of neat that they're kind of doing that, where it's like, no, that's not just Wanda. That's a fucking Scarlet Witch, man. It's like, oh shit. That sounds scary. That's especially witch? After seeing like what she survived at the beginning. It's like, oh,
she's a red mage, you guys. The red mage. She's a witch, and she's red. Fucking terrifying.
That's scary. This bitch, she's only purple and a bitch. Red witch, purple bitch. That should be. That's the new MCU show. Oh God. I would watch the hell out of that show.
So we need a witch of every color, though. I mean, like, I guess Loki can be the green witch.
Yeah. Monica is blue witch, because the other blue witches seem to have been melted or something.
So we need a white witch.
Moon Knight.
Perfect.
Done. Easy.
Solved.
Yeah, we solved it. Okay, Agatha kind of isn't a villain. She is, because we are told she is by people that we think are good at the beginning.
Yeah, she's not like a super villain with a plan. That's our dumb-headed sword military guy. She's actually the kind of villain I like more, which is she's just a dickhead to the main character. Sure. Which I love.
I'm going to give us half points too, because it kind of does seem like, at least from how she's talking to her, that the reason why she wants to like find out more about her and how she did this is because she's kind of using her as a battery in a way, not like directly sucking energy out of her, but more of a, I need to know how you do this thing so I can probably do it too.
Yeah.
So like, that's kind of neat. But there's kind of like a cool, what's the word I'm looking for? Like symbiosis thing going on here, where she wants whatever Wanda is, like the immense power and ability Wanda possesses. And in exchange, she's kind of like unlocking that more for Wanda as they're like going through her memories, and like, she's kind of unknowingly, like almost like a weird witch therapy, as it were. Like kind of helping her through the grief and like who she is and the powers and stuff like that.
It's like Call of Duty Cold War.
Yeah. You know what? As somebody who played through that game, it is more like Cold War than it isn't like Cold War. So there is that.
Not what I expected when I started.
There are weird correlations between the two. I will say.
Yeah. I feel good about...
That's weird.
About what I said last week when I would just decided to go on the record and say I didn't think Mephisto was going to show up. I feel good about that prediction.
Yeah, I still kind of think that maybe like there's something going on there that they're not going to get into or something. There's definitely something that Agatha was playing with as a younger witch that scared the other witches, and they said you shouldn't be dealing with that sort of thing.
True.
And like I could see witches are notorious for doing the deed with the devil in certain ways.
It could still happen. That's true.
But like not here. It's definitely not going to happen here.
We just don't. There's not enough. It doesn't feel like there's enough room now.
And it might not happen at all. Like it might just be a throwaway thing. Yeah. Who knows?
But we do still kind of not know what's up with Wanda's kids. Is like the thing we didn't get any info on. Because we got
confirmation that she does possess the power of creation. Like she did create the kids. The kids are very real.
Yeah.
Which means that version of Vision is probably extraordinarily real, but maybe only powered by her hex. Which is why he can't leave it.
I think that Vision's going to wind up in White Vision body.
Totally. Yep. You're right. For sure. If they don't, it would be ballsy of them if they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Because that is
they just
so almost
kill
obvious.
Vision again?
Yeah.
It'd be funny because they could just kill him again and then bring him back in some other totally unrelated way if they want to bring him back for a movie later. Like, that would be dumb, but, you know, it's possible.
Yeah. Okay, a few smaller things I wanted to get out or talk about that I did remember because they were so stupid. One of them, Agatha literally just says, wow, that accent really just comes and goes, doesn't it?
True. I want her to just stop with the accent. It's bad. It's always been bad.
Yeah, because Sokovian accent isn't real. It's like supposed to be like a Russian Eastern like hybrid.
Yeah.
And it doesn't exist. So it technically sounds like anything, but anything sounds fucking terrible. So
it honestly hampers Elizabeth Olsen's ability to act when she's trying to do that dumb accent. Like the scenes are so much better when she gives up on it.
Totally.
It's one of the reasons the TV show stuff in this was good. That she wasn't doing it.
There was one more throwaway thing that I wanted to... I'm trying to remember now. It's harder to remember the throwaway things. I just remembered the accent things specifically because that was just like, yeah, let it go. Like, stop it. Oh, the other thing is, this is just kind of an aside. It's really nice that this is an official Disney MCU product because otherwise, I don't think you would be able... Like, if this was any company but Disney, it would cost way too much money to have the, like, previously on at the beginning have cuts from the Avengers Infinity War and, like, other, like, Avengers movies and stuff like that. And it's just nice that, like, they're able to kind of wrap it all up in a package like that because it isn't a third-party studio or something like that. That's just, like, kind of a thought I had where they were doing the, like, wrap catch-up thing at the beginning.
Yeah.
The, like, that, like, oh, right, they can just show the scene of Thanos punching in his head and her destroying the Mind Stone because that's theirs. And, like, it would feel really weird if they just couldn't show that because this was, like, 20th Century Fox or something.
Yeah.
Or
like, they're franchises where individual movies are owned by different studios, so they can't...
I'm thinking Sony, specifically. Sony can't do shit like that, which is why they have to stay in their weird in-house version of the MCU.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of all I had. I want to know more about what happened to Faketro or Fietro or whatever she referred to him as, and Monica, and that's obviously going to happen in the next episode.
Yeah, man.
And weird, dead-looking white vision that looks like the husk of like a fly that broke out of its cocoon or something. It's disgusting. Absolutely fucking disgusting, but I want to see what he's all about. And just how crazy they can make Wanda, because that's going to drive her over the fucking edge, I'm sure.
So how did Pietro get his powers?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand how any of that works. Because it sounds like Agatha can't create. Like she can make illusions. She wanted the power. Yeah, she can only do visions, exactly. Visions. The fact that Master Pandemonium's not in this like makes me sad for you. Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. The whole time I was watching, I was like, did they do it? Did they do it? Did they do the thing?
They were never going to do the thing. The thing is too fucking weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's all I have. Do you have any final thoughts?
No, not really.
Yeah.
This was very exposition-y, and it was explaining stuff that's like pretty by the numbers. I don't know. Like there wasn't anything that was particularly surprising about how they did this, to the point of we have Evil Witch and we have Evil Vision now, so we can be a real Marvel movie.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a prediction.
It's still totally entertaining, but I kind of can't imagine watching this show a second time.
I agree. Next episode, do they end it as a way to tie into a movie or another series, or do they wrap up? There's no way they can end Agatha's story here, right? They literally just gave her origin story this episode. So, I don't know. Like, I don't know where they go from here.
I feel like the ending has to be the resolution of Vision.
Of the Hex.
And the Hex. Yeah. I don't think anything else needs to be wrapped up necessarily.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I guess one more question, and then I'll end this. How do you think this would have fared if it was a 90 to 120 minute MCU movie rather than a TV series? It would have kind of been like these last two episodes, right? Like it would have been all the style before it. Yeah.
It would have been fine. Like,
I think it would have been one of the lamer ones still. As a movie.
But that's fine. It would have been an average, like medium quality MCU movie. Like nothing remarkable, but nothing like too bad either. So,
right, sure, okay.
Again, it would have been similar in that it would have been fine as a thing to watch, and then I'd forget about it. Sure. As a TV show, it's more fun to like think about comic books every week.
Yeah, true.
And like all some of the fun TV stuff they did.
I'm looking forward to next week.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to see how they wrap this shit up, honestly. And the speculation of where it goes from here. Okay, well, that's going to do it for us recapping the episode. Thank you for listening. I hope you're enjoying the series as well as our conversations about it. And we'll see you next time for the final episode.
Peace.